Our Philly accent is having a moment. A Northeast Philly native who does Philly ASMR videos on TikTok is going viral. And then there's that Philly Delco style. It's almost like a character in itself on the hit HBO show Task. So it's the perfect time to revisit my hilarious conversation with comedian Lauren S. Daniels, a Philly native who does online skits about Philly and impersonations of Philadelphians. It's Thursday, November 6th. I'm Trinae Nuri, and this is how you speak Philadelphian. Lauren Daniels, your stage name is comedian LSD, born and raised in Philly?
Yes, ma'am.
I've heard you kind of have to explain your stage name, comedian LSD, because people go, LSD? Huh?
And they think of drugs. Exactly.
Yes.
They think of, hallucins. Yeah. But it's literally, my name is Lauren S. Daniels. So, but because my initials are LSD, I think it's cool because it's like my comedy will get you high.
Okay.
And before it was honestly my rap name, it was just LSD. And it had the same concept, like my bars gonna get you high type thing. But then now I became a comedian, I just put comedian in front of it. But yeah, it's my name, but I use it because of that reason. I got the greatest initials ever, LSD.
A lot of your comedy is about your experiences and observations about life as a Philadelphian. Mm-hmm. What would you say is the funniest thing about this city?
Girl, the funniest thing, I don't even know where to start. I think, honestly, one of the funniest things is the way we talk. I think our slang is hilarious. We have our own identity, our own culture. It's not a funny thing, but one of our slang words is young bull. But then that's when the boy is little. But then when they grow up, they become just the bull. So it's like you go from a young bull to a full bull. That's crazy.
You've been expanding your comedy to New York City and LA.
Yes.
So congrats. When you go to these different cities, how are you bringing Philly to these audiences?
I'm bringing Philly by just bringing me. I am Philly, girl. I am Philly. To me, I feel like you could just spot a Philadelphia. At least I can. When you're born in Philly and, you can spot it instantly. Even when I went to New York, I was just on the phone just having a conversation and instantly the guy turned around and was like, "You from Philly?" Yeah. I think just the energy, the accent. Yeah.
How does that make you feel when you hear that Philly accent, but you're in a different city?
It makes me feel good. I'm like, yeah, how you know? Come here real quick. It makes me feel good. You know what I mean? It makes me feel like that, I'm representing my city wherever I go. It's good to know that I will always be a Philly girl. They were always going, they were telling me, all my followers and fans the other day, they're it doesn't matter where you at. The Philly girl is in you. It's in your blood. You know what I'm saying? Just go out there and kill it and do your thing and just bring that Philly vibe. So it makes me feel good,
Yeah, it makes you feel proud. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes me feel proud. And a lot of people tend to focus on the bad in Philly because they tend to highlight on that a lot. They tend to highlight, on the news, not saying that that's not stuff that's going on, but Philly is a huge city. It's so much more to this city. It's so much culture here. Philly is literally one of the oldest cities in the United States. It has the most history here. You know what I mean? We were one of the first cities to abolish slavery. Seriously. You know what I mean? We were actually the first capital. If we keep it in for real before DC. So, the Constitution was written here. This is where it all started. Philly is the birthplace of America. Let's just call it what it is. It is. So,
So tell me how you got started into comedy, because you started rapping during that DVD era, right? Yeah. When, people be standing outside and in ciphers.
On the back of your shirt.
Yes. And for folks that don't know, this is kind of this is the era where Meek Mill got his start and a lot of other great rappers in this. Yeah, a lot of great rappers in the city. So how did you get from that to then transition into comedy?
Okay, so I've always been funny. You know what I'm saying? I've always been funny. Even in middle school and high school, you would see my pictures for the most funniest Lauren Daniels. I'm smack dab in the yearbooks. So I've always been funny. I've always been, around my friends, the goofy person, the one that's always cracking jokes. However, I'm just a creative person, even past the comedy. So like when I was growing up, I loved writing. Like I could write rap, a pop song, or R&B song. It don't matter what it is. I'm a good writer in general. Poems, it doesn't matter. So, I just started, writing songs, and I always wanted to sing, but I didn't have the greatest voice. I had to get my voice like enough that maybe the studio could tweak it, but nothing that I was confident. So I'm just sitting there like, well, dang, I want everybody to still hear me though. Like they got, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So then I was just like, I'm a rap. And then I started, recording little raps or whatever on a laptop, just carried it around outside on this little old dusty laptop. And my friends was like, yo, man, L, like, that's good. And then, like, my mom, I will never forget, my mom bought me my first karaoke machine, and it was over. I started recording, thinking I was going to send them little raggedy tapes to the labels. You couldn't tell me nothing. But anyway, so like that's how the rap thing started, and I just kept progressing, and like I was really like I'm really a beast when it comes to rapping. Like I'm doing my comedy thing, but listen, so then I started I found a manager, and to fast forward a little bit, I started getting on the DVDs, and back in the day in Philly, once you got on the DVDs, like you it's almost like you made it at that point. You know what I'm saying? Because they were so like worldwide, and so many people were watching them. But
Right.
like Philly was like, especially like with Reed Dollars, like they were like the first one to visually put that rapping in front of the camera thing, like really in like, and I don't mean, I'm not saying like people never rapped in front of a camera, but what I'm saying is to get that viral motion. Like everybody was running home to catch Reed Dollars rap. You know what I'm saying? Him and Meek battling. It was a huge thing. Yeah, like from there I just started rapping. Then eventually I got with Reed Dollars. We met. That's my boy. But then one day, like I just, time went on, and I just came home because I was honestly incarcerated, if I'm just being honest. And I just wanted to change my life, like that lifestyle. And I was trying to think of something to just keep me busy. Like, you know what I'm saying? To keep me
Mm-hmm.
occupied, because they always say, idle is the devil's playground, when you're bored and stuff. So I just started going on live, and I would, tell stories and all of that. And the next thing you know, people would be inboxing me like, hey, are you going live tomorrow? That's how it started. And then eventually, like, I drifted off making a skit, and like the very like first or second one I dropped, it went viral. And this is at a time where like viral wasn't a huge thing. You know what I mean? Like how it is now, where like everybody's going viral. Like, in the beginning when you went viral, it was a huge deal. A huge deal. So then like I just started going viral, and then people started like constantly asking me for more skits. And see, even though I knew I was funny, until I started creating the skits, that's when I found out how creative I was. Because visually putting my ideas that I have in my head and acting them out opened up a whole new door. Like I was like, I am really hilarious. Like I am funny as hell. So
Mm-hmm.
then I just started doing the skits, and they just started blowing up. Then I created Miss Molly. Miss Molly took it to a whole nother level. You know what I'm saying? I was at almost 1 million followers in 7 months on TikTok before they banned me, and I had to start over. But yeah, and then at that point, I just realized, like, I go back looking at, the fact that I was in a yearbook and all those things, and I'm just like, and to see where I am today and how it kind of just all played out, I'm like, that was my purpose all along. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was my purpose all along. And it's like, now that I know that and I'm embracing it, I love it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love comedy. I love making people laugh. And, I have so many people that hit me up all the time, like, I'm battling cancer. You helped me get through my, whatever it is that they're going through. You know what I'm saying? My dialysis treatments. When I'm feeling sick, you lift me up. And that's honestly what made me to take it serious. Cause I'm like, wow, this is beyond just laughing. Like when I'm seeing these people sending me, messages about how I'm helping them get through, some of the hardest times in their lives. I'm like, this is a whole different level when you touching people in that type of, you know what I'm saying, in that type of way.
Wow. That was a lot. Do you mind sharing, like, how long were you incarcerated for?
I was incarcerated the time that I was talking about. I was incarcerated for that time only, what, 5 months. But through my 20s, I pretty much was like back and forth, back and forth. And I didn't get my act together until about my 30s. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't that I didn't get my act together. It's just that, when you're in such an environment like Philadelphia, and you hanging with the wrong crowd, or just the environment itself, it is a beautiful city, but when you in the hood, it's a very negative environment that if you don't be sharp, it will suck you up. You know what I'm saying? It's a very negative environment. Everywhere you turn, you got a beer store, or a liquor store on every block. You know what I mean? It's just like, then you got, the people out there hustling. It's just,
Is
it's
that what frustrates you about this city?
absolutely, absolutely. Because especially with like K&A, because I just sit there sometimes and I ride through it. K&A is Kensington, for people that don't know. And I just ride through and I just think, how? Like, yeah, I see the mayor now trying to fix it up, but I just think, why would y'all wait for it to get this bad before
Mhm.
you try to fix it up? Like, that's the part that frustrates me, because I feel like, why would y'all let it get that bad? It's just sad. It's sad. I feel anybody, sad for anybody that's struggling with addiction, but I also feel sad for the people that, live in that area, because like, that's just killing the value of that whole entire neighborhood. Like, I would be pissed if I owned a home down there. Because
Mhm.
the value goes up with your neighborhood.
More with Lauren after the break. Filler Club is Philadelphia's best kept secret. It's the only place in the city where you can work out, and socialize all under one roof. Right in the heart of Philly, across from 30th Street Station, Filler Club is a private membership club built for modern city life. With multiple co working spaces, more than 50 businesses on site, and a state of the art fitness center featuring 2 full floors, personal training, an indoor pool, golf simulators, and even a cold plunge. You'll find everything you need to thrive. Visit FitlerClub.com to learn more and apply to become a member. Discover why Fitler Club is Philadelphia's best kept secret for work, wellness, and connection. What's interesting about your comedy is that you speak about those issues in your skits. So
Mm-hmm.
I want to play a clip from a skit on Instagram. What if a Philly John was a news reporter?
Good morning, Jim. Now, it's just been a sad, drawn night in Philadelphia. We are live at the scene where the standoff is. Police say that the young boy started shooting at the young John around 7 a.m. this morning. Straight drawn. All because the John left the bull for another bull. Now, police say what pushed him over the edge is because she did not give him back the $2 that she owed him, and ended with calling him a dickhead. We're live at the scene. People cannot go in and out of their houses, and they are extremely upset.
Okay, so Lauren, translate that news story for us. What happened?
Okay, so basically, the bull left the the bull and the John got into it. So the guy and the girl got into it, and basically because she was seeing another guy,
Bull. Yeah.
the bull. Because keep in mind that the bull means, a man. So, and then they got into it, and then they were arguing over $2, and then they got into it, of course. And why I said, and what pushed him over the edge was when she ended with calling him a dickhead. Because in Philly, a dickhead is like one of our known slang words that we use all the time. Dickhead this, dickhead that. It can be out of love, or it can be in an insult. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta pay attention to, number one, who's saying it. who's saying it, and the tone of it.
What I loved about the skit is that, you're outside,
Mhm.
you're in like kind of like an alleyway, and you're holding a remote
A
control. That's the
remote control.
microphone.
A remote control. Then knowing how the skit ends when like she starts,
Yeah.
like shooting back and stuff like
Why? Why did you have the reporter shooting back?
because it was captioned if a Philly joined. So I mean, if a Philly joint was a news reporter, listen, all that professionalism might go out the window. So like that's what I get back to, shooting and stuff. Like we Philly joints, they be about their life. You know what I'm saying? They be about their life. So, when the person in the standoff starts shooting, that's why the reporter shot back. And then she's like, back to you, Jim, as if nothing even
As
happened.
nothing happened, right? Lauren, would you say that like, what's more challenging for you? Is it to come up with these ideas and which, kind of have these like social messages,
Mhm.
or doing your stand-up comedy? Which one is more challenging? Or maybe I should really ask you, which one to you is more fulfilling?
Ooh, ooh.
Yeah, hit you with
See,
that.
yeah, you did. It's so hard. Okay, I would say I love both because they're two different. Like you have some comedians that can do stand up but can't make a skit for their life, and you have some comedians that can make a skit but can't do a stand up to save their life. The stand up is like you ain't got no room for mistakes. You ain't no editing, ain't no nothing. This is your time to shine. It's either hit or miss. So I like the rush of the stand up. And because I know I'm genuinely funny, so I'm very confident. Like I'm not like, oh my God, I wonder if they're gonna laugh. It's like, to me, comedy is everything. It's your body language, your facial expressions, like all of the tone of your voice, all of that adds to humor, you know? And I just like the rush of stand ups. I love the stand ups. Like I love, being able to make people laugh and just the rush I get from the crowd when they're cracking up because that just puts you in like a whole another zone. Like when you start getting the laughter. And I love the fact that like with the stand ups, your people are right there where you could just drift off and like start interacting with them right there on the spot. So I like that. And then, of course, the love you get at the end. Well, I don't know about everybody else, but at my stand ups, I get love.
You've been expanding your comedy. Do you have any like big projects in the works?
Yeah, actually, my team and I were actually in the middle of developing Miss Molly as a comedy show. So like a comedy sketch, like you know what I'm saying, try to get on networks. So we're in the process of developing that. Some of the things that I can't talk about, you know what I'm saying, because it's not like they kind of want to wait for it to get here. That's why I haven't really broadcasted a lot of things over social media, but I do have a lot of projects coming up that I am very, very excited about.
Tell me about that character you show on social media, Miss Molly, a little bit more. How did she come about?
Okay, so Miss Molly came about because I had started these skits, and it was captioned "Slavery in 2020 would be like," and that's how it originally started off. And it was like how modern day slavery would be, like how we would not go for it, you know. So it like I turned kind of like the pain into like a kind of like a joking, way, something that we could laugh at. So like you would hear Miss Molly, but she was just a voice in the background, like, take out the garbage or something, and I'd be like, shut up, Miss Molly, I ain't doing nothing. Like she'll just be cussing her out because of course we wouldn't go for it. Then eventually people were like, oh, reveal Miss Molly. So I'm like, reveal her? Like I had no intentions on ever showing Miss Molly. Like she was just a audio voice, a voiceover. So I'm like, what? Okay. So I'm like, well, what do I want her to look like? So then like it just came to me. And yeah, like I revealed her for the first time and it just took off. And the crazy thing is her slogan is "This how I was." If you're gonna mock me, do it right. Cause this how I was. This how I was. Even that, how it came about was like by default. It was her very first skit where I revealed her. And I was just saying like to the other character, Miss Molly was just saying, this how she throw it back. And I was like, that's how I was. That's how I was. That's how I used to throw it back. And I wasn't even thinking nothing about it because I don't write scripts. I kind of just get the concept and I just go. You know what I mean? And the next thing you know, like, I just get thousands of comments saying nothing but this how I was with all these little laughing emojis. And it just like a light went off. And I was like, that's it. That's her thing. That's her slogan. Whenever Miss Molly is doing something, she gonna show you how she was.
Does comedy feel like work to you, or is this like a creative, a healing like outlet for you?
I'm not even gonna lie. It can because especially right now, especially like right now because you know, even though I'm blowing up and all of that, I really don't have outside of like my team. I don't have all the luxuries of, you know, this person and that person, an assistant and that and that and that, and everybody just, you know, waiting on your hand and foot with like handling everything for you, you know. So it's like it's all me, you know. And then on top of it, like Miss Molly, that 2-minute skit could take like 6 hours for a 2-minute skit because I gotta record all her part, then I gotta change her clothes, play Uncle Reggie, then I gotta change the clothes, play whatever other character, say all of their lines, then I gotta edit it down, make it seem like they talking to each other. So that part can just be a little, you know, exhausting, but I do love it. No matter what, I love comedy. I love everything about it. It's just like I said right now, especially because I have so much stuff piling onto my plate. And I'm only one person, and it just could be a lot, you know. It just can be a lot. But that's like with anything. You could love your job, and it could pay great, but it can still make you tired, you know.
Okay, Lauren, before I let you go, I want to play a game. It's kind of like a Jeopardy. So I'm going to give you a short definition of a phrase or a word, and you kind of give me that Philly translation. You ready?
I'm not going to lose. Let's go.
All right. This is the machine found in Wawa's, Poppy stores, 7-Elevens, or gas stations where Philadelphians get money. There you go.
The Mac machine. Tap Mac. Period. Okay. Ain't no ATM. The Mac machine.
All right. This sports team won a Super Bowl.
The Birds. The Eagles.
All right. This iconic Philadelphia sandwich is served cold.
The hoagie. And ain't no sub. Don't come to Philly calling it a sub. You're going to end up on the Broad Street line. I can't stand when people ask for a sub. Go ahead.
Okay. This is a popular cold treat Philadelphians eat during the high and muggy days of spring or summer. Yes. Now, okay, I have a problem with the word John. And I feel like it's because it has gotten overused so much and like marketed in a way that it just be feeling like, I don't even like how you use that word John.
I feel you because I will never forget when I was driving down the highway and I saw them billboards with them lawyers, and he has this billboard and the lawyer's name is Morgan. He gonna name himself John Morgan. I was like, you know what? I'm done. John Morgan, because a true Philadelphia knows that John is never a man. It can be almost anything but a man. So the fact that he's saying John Morgan, and you know, in Philly, when you call someone a John, like that's like we don't even use that on ugly girls. Like, if I'm being honest, a John is only normally used when a girl's pretty. They be like, oh, she a John. They don't even call ugly girls Johns. So the fact that he up on this billboard talking about some John Morgan, like, what? Yeah. What are you doing? And that's what you're saying. The word, you know, so, you know, blew up so much. I mean, it even made it to the actual real life dictionary. And it's like, but they don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to really use it. You know, and he got these stupid billboards about some John Morgan. I was like, this is out of control.
And that's why I can't stand the word being used.
Like, what is John?
All right. That was Lauren Daniels, who goes by the name Comedian LSD. Thank you so much for speaking Philadelphian with me on CityCast Philly.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Be sure to check out Lauren on social media at Comedian LSD. That's all for us here today on CityCast Philly. If you enjoyed our conversation, share this episode with a friend. Rate the show, leave us a review, and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to sign up for our morning newsletter, Hey Philly, to learn more about what else Philly's talking about. And don't forget, you can support the show and get great perks by becoming a CityCast Philly neighbor at membership.citycast.fm. We'll be back tomorrow morning with the Friday News Roundup. Talk to you then. Bye.